is there a direct film sequel that you enjoy, or maybe even one you wish existed? Let's chat about those in the comments below. Hello everyone, my name is Luke Irvin. Welcome back to Take 5, and today we're going to talk about A Quiet Place Part 2. Really excited to talk about this. It's been out for a while, so I've held off on this video, but looking forward because I really enjoy this film. Now, before we get into this, I will say that I may reference things from the first film, so if you have not seen it, I highly encourage you, just go ahead and pause this. Go watch A Quiet Place Part 1 and Part 2. I think both are really fantastic films. If you are into horror and thriller, you would really enjoy these. So that is the mild potential spoiler warning. All right, so let's get into A Quiet Place Part 2. So we have John Krasinski back directing and writing this sequel. We are following the Abbott family again. This movie takes place right where the first one leaves off, and now this family is venturing past their home and going out past the sand path to see what else they may have to face. John did a fantastic job with this film. Just like the first film, this is just suspense from beginning to end. We get the same tight, compact runtime of an hour and 30 minutes, and we're following the same family, only this time, we do not have John's character because the first film has that tragic ending and beginning. But this is just really great. The acting in this film is just fantastic. It's hard for me to nitpick this film because in regards with the sequel, especially a direct sequel, a movie that picks up right where the first one leaves off, this was everything I wanted it to be. The standouts for me in this film are definitely the children, specifically Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. Noah Jupe has, I've been following most of his films since he's gotten into acting, and I'm really liked what he's done, especially like his film that he did with Shia LaBeouf, Honey Boy. That was one of my favorite films from when that came out. So I thought he did. He has a big moment near the within like the first 20-30 minutes of the film, and it's just like that instantly had me on the edge of my seat. He just really pulls off this character because if you've seen the first one, like he's kind of needs to be that father figure and kind of step up to protect his family, but he is very, very nervous and afraid, and he's not the youngest child because they do have the baby, which he has a big role with taking care of the baby in this one. But he did such a great job. He goes through a lot, but he pulls it off. But the daughter is really the star of this film. She gets a lot of screen time because what's cool with this film is, even though we're the same family, we are seeing them on different journeys. And it's such a simple story because, if you've seen the end of the first film, then like they figure out like how you can fight these things. So that gives them direction. So essentially what we're discovering in this film is like, we need to go get this object to hopefully help us fight these creatures. And that's what we're following on. We also get a new character in this film. We get Cillian Murphy. You do see him in the trailer, but it's really unclear, but he gets a lot of screen time and he does a fantastic job. What's so great about this film is just seeing how these characters communicate and work well with one another, because the bulk of this film, they're not talking. These creatures are hunting by sound and they move fast, and there are a lot of them out there. So, they're spending a lot of their time being able to communicate just with visuals, just face emotions, pointing, using that kind of stuff, and it works so well. Again, like this is just a great film. Krasinski did a great job keeping everything tight. The creatures are always more so in the background. You see them, we already know what they look like, but he does such a great job of keeping the actors at the forefront of the screen and just kind of blending this world where when you see the creatures, you're usually going to see them, around the characters, even though at times they will get the forefront of the screen, which is fine, but solid job at that. Tight runtime, tight script. I was thinking back of this and like, I kind of have to agree with like what Stuckman said. You know, it's hard to nitpick this film. You don't get that emotional ending like you get at the first one, but you do get a pretty solid ending. And yeah, really fun film. I can't wait for this to come out because this is like the ideal 3-hour double feature that I can't wait to sit down and enjoy again. So A Quiet Place Part 2, I'm going to give this film an A. Now, before I wrap this up, I will say I did go see this at a theater where we got to see what they called a live Q&A with John Krasinski. He was joined with J.J. Abrams, and yeah, it was really interesting. I wouldn't call it a true live experience, which kind of frustrated me because I knew he was in Nashville not too long ago, where a lot of YouTubers had the privilege of seeing him live. But this was like a Zoom recording. So, you know, they talked about the film itself. They got to answer some questions from the audience. I'm not really sure how live it was, if it was a pre-recording type deal. But what was really cool is he did verify that he is working on part 3 of the film and that he has brought in Jeff Nichols to direct and write this film. So I think that's really awesome. It's really exciting for Arkansas. So I know one thing I've announced on this channel is that I want to do more Arkansas films, and I haven't gotten to that, but I'll use this opportunity to say I'm going to do a segment where I go through all of Nichols' library and talk about his films. So really excited to do that. I'll probably try to do like one a week until I get through all the films. Ideally, I'd love to have him on my podcast, so we'll see if we can make that happen. But just want to say that's something to look forward to. Again, if A Quiet Place 2 is in the theaters, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you go and get a theater experience for this film because that's where it's really going to shine. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name's Luke. I talk about movies, have a podcast, and we'll occasionally talk about tech. So please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. It's going to help with all the YouTube magic behind the scenes. And yeah, I'm excited about talking about more movies. Let's see, next coming up, I'll talk about The Conjuring 3. So look forward to that. It's going to come out really soon. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you in the next one.